Thank you, Smita. Hey, hi, good morning, everyone. Uh, I am Pramod Bhuvan. I'm the director at InsuranceManager.com, taking care of corporate solutions. And on behalf of the entire team at InsuranceManager.com, we welcome you all for this informative session on smart review of your fixed asset fire insurance. It gives me immense pleasure to host this wonderful webinar for our audience on a Saturday. Thank you for taking out time. We hope that we'll make this session as informative, as interesting, and as interactive as possible. The idea of today's session is to empower our decision makers in corporate houses who day in and out take decisions on insurance. What is the right way to go about before you decide or before you sign off your insurance policies? Mostly what we have seen is the insurances decisions are mostly restricted to either pricing comparison or mostly add-on covers comparison. But we feel personally that there's much more to it. So that's why there are 5 aspects which we will be discussing in detail today. The first aspect is finding the right product. There's a lot of complexity in the product in the market now. Effective April 2021, after the new products were launched by the regulator, there are, depending upon the sum insured per location, the products may vary from company to company or what is applicable, rightly applicable for you. So we will try to highlight here you or probably advise you on what kind of policies which ideally you should go for, what policies are best suited for you. The second aspect which we will be trying to cover here will be the maximizing on add-on covers. I mean, these add-on covers come over and above the basic policy. This ensures that your policy coverages are maximized. The wordings of these add-on covers ensure that it brings more comprehensiveness in coverage for your policies, ensuring that there are no or zero rejections of claims, even for smaller claims. The third aspect which we will be discussing in detail today will be, which is again a very critical aspect in this entire insurance buying decision making, is a premium insurer player. So how do you attract a premium insurance company to participate in your risk so that they become keen for participation in the risk? The fourth aspect which we will be covering today is negotiating on best discount. This has 2 aspects, of course. The first aspect is whether what kind of discounts are available by the regulator, made available to you, like for example a claims experience discount or a fire extinguishing appliance discount. But there are other regulations which also has empowered about. So of course the regulator has also put down certain discounting pattern based on the fire extinguishing and claims experience, but there are other key factors related to your risk management which would prompt the insurer to give you additional discounting. So how to make the best use of out of it. And the last aspect which we will be discussing today is also about the value added services. What kind of value added services on, especially on the property loss prevention program, like for example the electrical safety audits, thermography, dust hazard analysis, or maybe energy audit. There are a lot of things which you can also talk to your insurers to make it part of your program, which will ensure you in effective risk management. So these are the 5 aspects which we will be discussing in depth. A copy of this presentation will be also uploaded on the YouTube handle insurancemanager.com, which can be viewed at a convenient time later on. If you have any questions and answers during the session, you can type in the chat box and we'll be happy to take it at the end of the session. And with this, I start the presentation. I go to the first aspect of the presentation today, which is about finding the right product. Slide, please. Okay, so finding the right product, why this has become a topic of interest is, so in India, since privatization in 2001, the products which were available were standard products. And for example, in property fire insurance, the product available is the standard fire and special perils policy. But effective 1st April 2021, the regulator has broken down the product basis the sum insured at single location. So, for example, any residential house or housing society would qualify as a Bharat Grah Raksha product. Any other commercial establishments like your manufacturing, warehousing, and offices have been classified under three major categories, as you can see here. Sum insureds up to 5 crores, sum insured 5 to 50 crores, and sum insureds more than 50 crores. And respectively, the products have been also launched, which is like up to 5 crores, the product is Bharat Sukshma Udyam. 5 to 50 crores, the product is Bharat Laghu Udyam, and more than 50 crores, the product is Standard Fire and Special Perils Policy. Abhi, so what is all the more complicated, especially in our clients, where we have seen that clients sometimes it is difficult to classify according to sum insureds, but some of our clients have also got multiple units. For example, unit 1 may have sum insured up to 50 crores, unit 2 may have sum insured more than 50 crores, unit 3 may be a warehousing unit which is up to 5 crores. So what has happened is one single client has to buy multiple products depending upon the sum insured exposure at that location, which can make the decision making process or more complex. And the whole idea of today's webinar is on the right product, is that the customers should finally buy the right policies which are applicable for them, should not end up buying something which is not applicable for them. Sometimes it may be done because of ignorance, sometimes because of mis-selling, and sometimes even to take some advantages of migrating to some other product because of discounting, but which we feel here is not the right way. Whatever product is applicable for you, ideally you should go for the same product. In fact, on the next slide I will show you how above 50 crores sum insured, again there are multiple options available for you. Next slide. So if you have more than 50 crores sum insured in single location, the options again become all the more complex, because either you can buy a SFSP policy. You also have an option to cover the industrial all risk, which will also cover your loss of profit, machinery breakdown. And then there are some variants of these products launched in the Indian market by some of the insurance companies, including companies like ICICI Lombard, Tata AIG, called as the property all risk form. So यहाँ पे this is a version of industrial all risk with options to pick and choose machinery breakdown and loss of profit, which was not the option available under the industrial all risk. So these complexities are in a way for the betterment of the client, to ensure that the client get the right product at the right price. But this also creeps in a problem of mis-selling by some intermediaries who don't have either the full knowledge on the product, or maybe because, as I told you, sometimes also we have seen, because of to take the advantage of discounting, some of the products are mis-sold to the clients. So I have very briefly highlighted all the products. Like for example, if you have a residential project, then the Bharat Grah Raksha. For sum insured up to 5 crores, Bharat Sukshma Udyam. For sum insured above 5 up to 50, the Laghu Udyam is available. For more than 50 crores, it is SFSP. But within SFSP, you have an option whether you want to go for IAR, whether you want to go for PAR. So it is all up to you in terms of decision making. But then to ensure that your decision making process is right and you take an informed decision making, that's why we have kept this session. I'll highlight very briefly about the coverages under these sections, so that you are aware what product suits you best and which product you should opt for. Okay, so this is very briefly about the coverages under the policy. I'll not dwell more into it because this is for donkey's ears. The coverage is almost same, but now which is the fire, Flexa risk, and the STFI and earthquake, of course, which is an add-on cover under the policy. Of course, terrorism is also one more add-on cover, again, which comes with an additional premium. Now, our team has beautifully compiled a presentation, which is a comparison between the SFSP policy, Sukshma and Laghu Udyam policy. Sorry. Right. So if you see, the 12 perils of the policies are standard perils like fire, explosion, rat strike, malicious, bushfire, storm, typhoon, flood, bursting, aircraft, and lightning, which are common among all three policies. Earthquake is again common against all these policies, and terrorism is an add-on cover now. Before 1st April 2023, terrorism was compulsory cover under the Lagu and Sukshma, but after 1st April 2023, in fact, there are three developments also which we would like to appraise. Of course, my colleague Prasad will take you through in detail in the subsequent slides. But three development which has happened related to the products and pricing. The first development happened in April 2021, where the regulator launched three variants of fire insurance, as I told you: Sukshma Udyam, Lagu Udyam, and SFSP. The second development happened on 1st April 2023, where there was an option to delete terrorism, which was erstwhile mandatory cover. And also there was option to give some sort of discount under the Flexa, which was like 5% discount for firefighting and 10% for claims experience. So this was the second development. The third development, very recent, which happened on 15th of December 2023, which were related to two aspects. One, the Flexa discount. The discount of 5 and 10 was restricted only to the Flexa risk. STF and earthquake, there is no discount now, which was given earlier in the 1st April 2023 circular. And also one thing which has impacted the premiums on the higher side is the increase in the STFI premium. So this has happened especially after the Chennai floods. The regulator has increased the overall pricing in the at the pan India level, where the revised terrorism rates have been released, and they in manufacturing they have increased the rates. We'll tell you in detail about those. So with this, I go to the next slide. Achha, these are few add-on covers under the Bharat Sukshma policy and Lagu policy, which you can see clicks over here. Forest fires, spontaneous combustions, these are all add-on covers under the Sukshma and Lagu Udyam policy. You need not buy this as an additional add-on covers. Unlike the SFSP policy, where you have to buy this as an add-on cover, some insurer may charge you premium, some may give you free, but this doesn't come with the base policies. So one important aspect here is that, so uh, spontaneous combustion is there, temporary removal of stocks is covered under the policy. Similarly, startup expenses, professional fees, removal of debris, and any cost compelled by municipal regulation. These are all covered under the Sukshma and Lagu Udyam policies as under the base policy. There is no need for additional add-on cover. So what is the difference apart from the sum insured is also, as I told you, that there is a coverage difference, and also the Sukshma and Lagu Udyam policies are D-tariff products. On the Flexa section of the premium, there is possibility of discounting, whereas the SFSP policy also has a provision for discounting, but regulated discounting, which is, as I already told you, 5% for firefighting facilities like your hydrants and extinguishers, and 10% for claims experience. So, which is more or less standard across insurance companies. But unlike the Sukshma and Lagu Udyam policy, the discounts can go up to any level depending upon the risk and the occupancies. Yeah, thanks. Ajay, there's a poll question which is popped up. I would request you all to participate, which will help you judge your insurance knowledge skills. Thank you. Okay, Abhi, so one of the aspects which we wanted to highlight you here was, like, for example, all of you guys know, mostly for large corporates or for risk above 50 crores in single location, the industrial all risk policy is also available, which also covers you for loss of profit and machinery breakdown risk. And the IAR is a much broader version of coverage as compared to the SFSP, because it also covers your burglary and theft risk in the base policy itself. You need not buy an additional cover. But also there's a development in the sense that, if you see here, there's a property all risk policy which has been launched by ICICI Lombard. Sorry, property all risk, which is a much broader and enhanced cover available now. One of the key aspect of this product is there is an option to pick and choose the mandatory covers like loss of profit and machinery breakdown, which in the IR is it's a mandatory cover, but you can opt the machinery breakdown cover from this policy. In fact, the loss of profit is also a optional cover now. So क्या होता है, बहुत बार हमने कॉर्पोरेट्स में ये भी देखा है कि उनको लेना आईएआर है फॉर अ ब्रॉडर कवर, बट बोलते हैं कि मशीनरी ब्रेकडाउन से रिलेटेड कोई क्लेम्स आएंगे भी, तो बिकॉज ऑफ द हाई डिडक्टेबल इन द आईएआर पॉलिसी द क्लेम्स विल नॉट बी पेबल, देयर इज नो सेंस paying premium for that section. So under the property owners, there's an option to pick and choose that cover. So this is a huge relief, and this is a very great USP which has been launched by ICICI Lombard, which I feel wherein you can choose to opt out your machinery breakdown, because loss of profit to people normally avail of, uh, uh, which I feel is very important cover, especially when you have in the MSMEs, when there is single block unit and then there is no spread of risk, and especially if with company which are into occupancies like plastic, chemicals or textiles, where the probable maximum loss is very high. The highly recommended property owners with FLOP cover. Maybe machinery breakdown is a section which you can choose or decide to opt out from. Right. Next slide, please. Okay, here again, we have tried to do the comparison between the SFSP, IAR, and property all risk. So the coverages पे मैं नहीं जाऊंगा. Mostly, I'll just highlight what are the few aspects which are differential, which is, as I told you, machinery, MBD is machinery breakdown, FLOP is fire loss of profit. These are optional cover under property all risk, which is a mandatory cover under the IAR section. So this will come with a lot of respite to a lot of these corporates who don't want to offer machinery breakdown. Now there's an option available now to pick and choose those covers. Of course, the standard fire and special peril policy comes with 12 named perils, whereas IAR is an unnamed policy. It comes only with exclusions. So basically, all the risk is covered. As very simple example can be, for example, कोई storm आता है, तो उसका definition है कि 70 नॉटिकल माइल से ज्यादा जोर से हवा चली और छपरे उड़े या आपको नुकसान हुआ तो ही क्लेम पे होगा, और उससे कम हुआ तो फिर वो स्टॉक नहीं है, तो इस केस में ये फायर पॉलिसी ट्रिगर नहीं होगी. बट आईएआर में ऐसा नहीं है. Any damage will be covered. Similarly, the owners to prove कि loss कैसे हुआ, because it's an all risk policy, insurance company is responsible for giving you the loss unless they prove it otherwise that ये policy के अंदर नहीं covered है, which can be because of uh, which can be because of mostly due to any foreign material or any fraud or any those kind of stuff which are not normally paid under the policy as a claim. So IAR is of course very much recommended uh, to IR is very much recommended because of the broader version. But now with property owners, I think there's a lot of flexibility available for the decision makers of insurance in corporate business houses to avail and opt out for machinery breakdown and FLOP section. So this is, we felt very important. So that's the reason we have highlighted and kept 2 slides for these particular topic, right? Next, please. Okay, again, some differentiation between the coverages. As you are all aware, mostly IAR policies were given for sum insureds above 100 crores. But PA or property owners can also be given for sum insureds less than 100 crores. In fact, even IAR, some companies take deviation and give it. So IAR is mostly for manufacturing companies with loss of profits and machinery breakdown. Similarly, as I told you, that machinery breakdown section and FLOP are optional cover. One of the important aspects of coverage under the IR policy is, of course, the underinsurance waiver, which is up to 15%. And same is there available in the property all risk. In fact, in SFSP, there is no underinsurance waiver. Even if it is 1%, that would be counted as underinsurance, and your overall claim settlement or assessment will drop accordingly. Thanks. Okay, the of course IER में अभी now we talk about add-on covers. So property all risk which has been launched has also inbuilt 20 add-on covers under the policy. You do not need to opt for any additional add-on cover. So IAR में of course you have to opt for all the extensions, but property all risk has 20 inbuilt additions. So this is again one of the highlights. इसके अलावा अगर if you have locations outside the insured premises, you have to separately declare both under SFSP and IAR. But PR में there is an option to up to some limit specified, you have an option to cover under the same policy. Uh, One of the other important aspect here is also the reinstatement provision, which has to be completed. Normally, the insurer says within 12 months of the loss, whereas PR may they have extended it to 24 months, which I feel is also right, because it's practically impossible to reinstate the property in 12 months after the loss. Sometimes the time lag for machinery, building, and after a loss, the insurer to go back and start the work, it takes more than 12 months. So that clause has been extended. What happens is, if you don't do the reinstatement within 12 months, there's always a provision of the insurance company to go and settle the claim on market value basis and not give you reinstatement. Or यहाँ पे insurance company try to arm twist you by giving you a market value settlement, saying that you didn't comply with the policy norms of reinstating in 12 months. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा फ्लॉ था पॉलिसी के अंदर, जो कि प्रैक्टिकली 12 महीने में प्लांट को वापस खड़ा करना इन केस ऑफ मेजर लॉसेस इज प्रैक्टिकली इम्पॉसिबल. सो पीआर इज समहाउ so what is happening is, with our experience and with our handling of claims, and with our feedbacks to insurance companies are devising new products which are practically viable for the Indian market. Or as these products were actually British products, मतलब 1973 के पहले के नेशनलाइजेशन के भी पहले के ये प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल है, जो ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के साथ जो इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज इंडिया में आई थी उनकी वर्डिंग्स ही हम यूज कर रहे थे. But now the insurance companies in India, with their experience of more than 20 years post privatization, they are also coming up with products and coverages which are relevant and practically feasible for the Indian. So it's a very positive step which is coming up, and so the ambiguity is dropping, and these policies will be more easier to comply with. I'm not dwelling more into the inbuilt extensions, because we will be doing a very specific webinar for manufacturing add-on covers at a later date. Now I come to the deductible part, which is SFSP. Of course, the deductibles are lower, but IAR and property all risk with the deductible will be same, right? Next slide, please. So this is the second aspect on which I would. Okay, second aspect which I would like to. अभी normally what we see in corporate houses कि जब भी इंश्योरेंस का कोई डिसीजन मेकिंग होता है, तो उसमें एक तो प्राइस कंपैरिजन होता है और दूसरा एड ऑन कवर का कंपैरिजन हो जाता है, और उसके हिसाब से नॉर्मली द डील इज क्लोज्ड. But we feel that there is much more to it than only comparing the price and the add-on covers, because add-on covers क्या tangible आपको एक्सेल पे दिखता है, इसने 40 दिया, इसने 60 दिया, इसने 40 दिया, इसने 45 दिया है, तो let's go with someone who has given 45. But actually it doesn't work like that, is what I feel. When you so you cannot compare only these two aspects before you sign off your insurance documents. There are other aspects which are normally neglected, which will come at a later come in later slide. One of the aspect is the premium insurance company. However good the add-on covers they may look on an Excel, but if you don't have the right insurance company to walk the talk, your insurance intermediary or your broker or agent will also not be able to help you serve the purpose of the insurance policy. You need an insurance company who's got a strong balance sheet, who's got great solvency ratio. The company has great ability to pay off claims and willingness to pay off claims. Right. Abhi, attracting an insurance company to your risk is not an easy task, especially for companies which are into high occupancy hazards. In fact, most of the insurance decision makers here will correlate to the fact, कभी कभी बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्रीज में आप देखोगे कि जहाँ पे आपके रिस्क आर नॉट ग्रेट, you will not get quality insurance companies participating in the risk. And one of the reason is that lot of information which the insurance company wants to underwrite the risk, to become comfortable with the risk, is not shared with them. और उसको अगर आप शेयर नहीं करोगे तो आपका इंश्योरेंस के पार्टिसिपेशन में वो नहीं आएंगे. ऑफ कोर्स प्रसाद विल टेक यू इन डिटेल इन दोस इन द कमिंग स्लाइड. बट कमिंग बैक टू द सेकंड एस्पेक्ट ऑफ मैक्सिमाइजिंग एड ऑन कवर्स, Of course, add-on covers are very, very relevant because this will ensure that your policy ka coverages are comprehensively maximized. Some of the very, but also there's a trend which is cropping up, which is industry relevant add-on covers, where we are able to give you covers which are very specific to the industry. For example, a static charge cover for a plastic manufacturing industry, because plastics have tendency to generate static charge. Similarly, a spontaneous combustion cover for a chemical manufacturing company, or maybe a dust hazard cover or a smoke damage clause. Similarly, we have listed down here few add-on covers which are relevant, but we have got 50 plus industry relevant add-on covers which we boast of, which we have filed and got approved by insurance companies, which become part of our code submissions. We'll also explain you how industry wise, whichever industry is applicable for you, is you're part of, how those add-on covers are relevant for your industry. So here, for example, if I may tell you, like for example, like involuntary betterment, spoilage of material damage, spontaneous combustion I spoke about. In fact, decontamination and cost of cleanup, these are few add-on covers which you are able to provide. Similarly, waiver of under-insurance and escalation cover. Increased cost of construction, which is basically nothing but your inflation cost. Electrical injury is also a very, very important clause which talks about that normally the fire policy has an exclusion for the origin clause, because वो जहाँ से origin हुआ होगा वहां से because of the short circuiting हुआ होगा, and short circuiting is an exclusion. So insurance में कोई भी चीज जो नहीं cover होती है उसके दो reason हो सकते हैं, या तो वो cover हो ही नहीं सकता because it's a trade loss, it's non-insurable, or maybe because there is a parallel product. So of course short circuiting is not covered because there is already a machinery breakdown cover available इन द मार्केट. तो इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजरी क्लॉज अगर आप लेते हैं तो आपको एक एडवांटेज ये मिलता है कि जहां से फायर, एक सपोज यू हैव 20 मशीन्स एंड फायर ओरिजिनेटेड इन वन ऑफ द मशीन्स व्हिच रिजल्टेड इनटू एनगल्फिंग द अदर 19 machines. So normally the surveyor will exclude the machine where the fire originated from. But if you have electrical injury clause in the policy, that first machine that where the fire originated will also be covered, and you will get claim for the entire 20. Similarly, there are very innovative add-on covers like which is not mentioned here, like EMI waiver cover. For example, if you have a term loan or a working capital loan with the insurance company, and because of the material damage loss, your factory is non-operational and you are not able to pay off those EMIs, the policy will cover you for those kind of losses also. Similarly, there is omission to insure, which is a very important cover, add-on cover under the policy. So when I say add-on cover, these are not available as standardized cover, but this comes with additional sometimes cost, or may not come at any additional cost, but your brokers have to be strong or competent enough to negotiate these covers with the insurance companies. So with this, I will hand over the baton to Prasad to take it over from here to for the relevant slides on maximizing on premium insurance companies and property loss prevention programs. Prasad, you are muted.
Thank you, Pramod sir, for your valuable insights. I'll take it over from here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. We'll discuss about our next topic. So now the main topic is attracting premium insurer. As Pramod sir rightly mentioned, that only lower price and getting the more add-on cover on Excel will not serve your purpose. You need a strong insurer who is backing your insurance program for a year. So whenever there is a claim, the insurer is good enough to pay you the claim. Okay, so how to attract the premium insurance? So we have a couple of practices we have seen over the years. Basically, these are the points which we got from the risk inspection practices which we are doing. So what is the best risk management practices as far as the insurance companies are concerned? So we will review this control. So first is our adequacy of firefighting equipments. Second, we'll see what are the housekeeping practices insurer will expect. What are the best storage practices and what are the do's and don'ts. We'll discuss in detail about electrical and fitting installation. So these are the review control insurance are expected from your side. So this is very simple. First, the minimum expectation from insurance companies how you are keeping your fire extinguishers. Okay, so these are the minimum expectation that these extinguishers should be kept at eye level. Okay, it should be kept at regular length inside the factory. It should not be kept lying this at every block entrance, and it should be regularly pressurized. It should not be expired. Okay, so these are the do's and don'ts about the fire extinguishers. I'll move ahead. Next point, insurance companies expect that how you are keeping your hydrant system and sprinkler system. If I say your hydrant system in place, sprinkler system in place, but what if there is no enough water supply? Because I have seen in couple of recent inspection that this water supply has been used in production, because ऐसा हो सकता है कि पिछले 2 दिनों में जो आपको कॉर्पोरेशन से पानी सप्लाई आना था वो नहीं आया, सो आपने ये पानी यूज कर लिया, एंड व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ फायर इन द सेम नाइट. Okay, so please don't do this, and especially at the time of risk inspection, make sure that this water supply is there for hydrant and sprinkler. Okay, I'll move ahead. Automatic sprinkler system. So बहुत बार ये होता है कि स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम अवेलेबल है, हमने रूफ पे ये स्प्रिंकलर का पूरा नेटिंग कर लिया है, ठीक है, बट ऐसा होगा कि कुछ मेंटेनेंस चल रहा है, ठीक है, या कहीं जगह पे कुछ स्प्रिंकलर्स को आप इनहेंस कर रहे हो एक जगह पे, या ऐसा होगा कि आपके स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम के कंट्रोल पैनल में कुछ काम चल रहा है, तो आपने एक स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम को मैनुअल मोड पे कर दिया, ठीक है. तो प्लीज डोंट डू दिस, यू शुड हैव अ बैकअप ऑलवेज अवेलेबल एट फैक्ट्री साइट, ठीक है. एंड खास करके जब रिस्क इंस्पेक्शन इंश्योरेंस कंपनी से अरेंज हुआ है हमारी तरफ से, तो मेक श्योर करना कि ये स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम जो है वो 100% ऑटोमेटिक मोड पे हो, बिकॉज इसका कॉन्सिक्वेंस ये होगा कि अगर ये स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम ऑटो मोड पे नहीं हुए, ठीक है, तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी वो नेगेटिव रिमार्क्स आपके रिस्क इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट में मेंशन कर देगी, ठीक है. और इसका सब्सिक्वेंट क्या होगा कि एट द टाइम ऑफ getting the terms approved from the respective insurance company, the insurance company will not participate. Okay, so these are the critical points. Next, about the if your factory having the fire detection and alarm system, okay, if you mentioned us that yes, there are fire detection and alarm system is there, there are smoke detection is there, but it should not be like this. It should not be like this. Installed on a temporary platform. Okay, so just having the system will not suffice. You have to make sure that system is working in a good permanent place. Okay. Next, yes. Now we will talk about the storage practices. So palletizing racking system is expected from insurance company as far as your raw materials are there, as far as your finished goods are there. Okay, so palletizing system is a very good storage practice, but there are some things that you should avoid. You should avoid that this stock should not be touched at roof, wherein your lights are there, because what is expected from insurance company that you should avoid this practice, because if there is a stacking up to roof, it will attract the heat and there may be a chances of catching the fire. So these practices should be avoided. I'll move ahead. Again, there are some practices to be avoided. If any hydrant points are there, okay, this should not be obstacle. Okay, now I can understand any expansion might going on or any cleaning up is going on, but this type of permanent obstacle should not be there, because at the time of fire, the fire brigade will come and those person will try to operate these hose reels. Okay, so these practices should be avoided. We have seen about many a times that hose reel is missing from this hose drum. Okay, so there is no sense of keeping such hose reel, because at the time of fire, either your person or fire brigade person will not able to operate this. Okay, so don't do this. Next point is keeping the scrap. So what are the scrap removing intervals at your factory? Make sure that especially at the time of risk inspection, this scrap should be removed from the premises, and it should have a designated area. Okay, the scrap should not be kept haphazard inside nearby to your compound wall or outside the process block. Okay, so these are some of the practices that you should avoid. I'll move ahead. Now this is very important because this termed as a passive fire protection, not active fire protection. We can see that electrical cable passing are from one block to another block. And if any cables are passing from one block to another block, not only cable passing, any conveyors are passing from one block to another block, should be sealed. There should not be any opening. अच्छा, इसके पीछे इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का क्या लॉजिक होगा कि अगर दैट ब्लॉक इज हैविंग अ फायर, अगर ये यहाँ पे ओपनिंग होगा तो ये फायर आपके सब्सिक्वेंट ब्लॉक में भी ट्रैवल कर जाएगी, ठीक है, तो वो ब्लॉक में भी डैमेजेस हो जाएंगे. ओके, सो व्हाट इज द बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस that this electrical cable pass, the vertical openings should be sealed and should be sealed with cable sealant and fire retardant white paint. So, okay, so this will not attract the fire, or at least they will try to extinguish the fire at least for more 3 hours or 2 hours. Okay, so this is expected from you. Okay, so it is recommended to seal the wall opening through which the electrical cable are passed and should be sealed with fireproof material. Okay, I hope this is very clear to you. I'll move ahead. And these are a couple of more practices, housekeeping practices, especially that you should avoid, especially at the time of risk inspection and throughout the policy year also. Now I am highlighting about this is a motor central control panel. Okay, so these are the levers are there and all your machineries are operated by here. Okay, we have many a time seen there's security guard के कपड़े यहाँ पे लटके हैं, ठीक है, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड के जो बैग्स यहाँ पे नियर बाय रखे हैं, या बहुत बार हमने देखा है कि लंच टाइम चल रहा है और यहाँ पे वर्कर्स इसको पीठ लगा के बैठे हैं. So these practices should be avoided. It should be guarded with this type of rails and rubber matting should be provided in front of the motor control panel. Okay. Plus, we have many times seen that storage of LPG cylinders nearby to this area. So please don't do just a minute. So please don't store your LPG cylinders nearby to your electrical MCC room, and any other combustible material should not be stored at DG room specially, because DG room have one problem. Many times we have seen diesel spillage at near to the DG room. Okay, so DG room should be clean, no diesel spillage should be there, and any combustible raw material or finished product or any cleaning material should not be kept near to the DG room. Okay, and last but not the least, any open or loose wiring of the electrical cable should be removed permanently at any of your premises, especially at the motor control panel and especially nearby to your plant and machineries. Okay, no loose wirings. Okay, I'll move ahead. Now we'll move ahead up the next topic. So please answer this poll regarding to your previous slides. Okay, I'll move ahead. That these are the parameters of negotiating best discount. So as Pramod sir rightly said in our previous slide, that there are some discount available for sum insured above 50 crores, especially for all those policyholder whose policy is SFSP policy or IR policy. There is now risk management practices discount is applicable on flexa rates. So what we have learned in our previous slide, that the best risk management practices you should adopt, because you will straight away get the 5% discount by adopting the best risk management practices. So this discount is applicable on flexa rates. Now this was the previous practices. When I say previous practices, this practice was previously applicable for all the proposals whose start date was prior to 15th of December 2023. So if your policy is having no claims for last 3 years, maximum applicable discount is 10%. And if there are any subsequent claims, so there is a provision to loading is also there. But from 15th of December onwards, 15th of December 2023 onwards, this discount is not applicable on SFSP total policy rate. This discount is applicable only on the flexa rate. Okay, so this discount has not gone, but the discount is shifted only on Flexa rate. Okay, I'll move ahead. Now the important topic is SFSP rates for corresponding FLOP policy, IR policy, and large risk policy has been increased by insurer because there are a couple of years experience, especially in Chennai floods and Sikkim floods, and what are the damage happened in north side, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. So there are increase in the rates. The prior rate was 0.31 for industrial manufacturing occupancies. The current rate is 0.37. And when I say storage, warehouses, the prior rate was 0.43 and the current rate is 0.52. Now we will see the quantum of premium impacting. So let's suppose a sum insured of 50 crore. So you have to now pay the premium of 1,85,000. Prior to this, you have to pay 1,55,000. So there is an increase in premium of 30,000 for your manufacturing activities policies. And if you are having a storage unit, so prior you have to pay the rate of 0.43. So your outgo is 2,15,000. Now the rate is 0.52. So you have to pay 2,60,000. The incremental difference is 45,000 more you have to shell from your pocket as far as these rates are concerned. Okay. And I will repeat again here, no discount of any kind would be given on earthquake or STFI rates. So as I mentioned in our prior slide, this 10% discount was previously given on total policy rate, means earthquake, STFI plus Flexa rate. Now this discount is there, but it is only given on the Flexa rate. Okay. Now we'll talk about the value-added services which are beneficial for your factory. Okay, so first, VAS activity that we suggest, that is thermography. And what I mean by a thermography, basically it's a thermal image camera. You can correlate with your X-ray camera, okay, which you can see through without any destruction. Okay, अगर मुझे एक कैमरा ये इमेज देगा कि उस मशीन के अंदर या वो जो मोटर कंट्रोल पैनल है, अगर वहां पे कोई एबनॉर्मल हीटिंग हो रही है, तो ये हीटिंग से सबसे पहला क्या होगा, तो एक्सप्लोजन होगा और आपके प्रीमाइसेस में फायर स्टार्ट हो जाएगी. ठीक है, सो एनी एबनॉर्मल हीटिंग ऑफ योर इक्विपमेंट, ठीक है, सो एनी मिशअप जो मैंने अभी आपको बता दिया कि फायर इंसिडेंस हो सकता है, बिकॉज एक्सप्लोजन इज अ मेजर रिस्क इंश्योरर इज वरीड अबाउट दी, especially for factory occupancies. So benefits of thermography is basically it's a non-intrusive and non-destructive method. मुझे कोई केबलिंग या कोई मुझे मोटर कंट्रोल पैनल ओपन भी नहीं करना है. ठीक है, ठीक है, और खास करके जहाँ पे मेरे जो वायर्स है, ठीक है, वो अगर मेरे वॉल के इनसाइड है, ठीक है, वो पाइपिंग में मुझे कोई ओपन नहीं करनी है. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अ नॉन डिस्ट्रक्टिव मैटर. इट हेल्प्स इन डिटेक्टिंग द पुअर कनेक्शन एंड अनबैलेंस लोड. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, अनबैलेंस लोड, बिकॉज जब कभी भी अनबैलेंस लोड होगा या पुअर कनेक्शन होगा, देयर इज अ चांसेस कि वहां पे हीट जनरेट हो रही है जो एबनॉर्मल है, ठीक है, जो नॉर्मल नहीं है. तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी आपको बहुत डिटेल में पॉइंट वाइज, मशीन वाइज एक रिपोर्ट देगी कि यहाँ पे आपका जो कनेक्शन है वो पुअर है या पुअर नहीं है, एंड इमीडिएट एक्शन इज रिक्वायर्ड और नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. और एक स्टेप आगे जाके उस रिपोर्ट में ये भी होगा कि प्लीज ऑब्जर्व दिस मशीन फॉर नेक्स्ट 3 months फॉर एनी अनबैलेंस लोड्स. ओके, सो दिस एनेबल्स इन डिटेक्टिंग द इंसुलेशन डिटोरेशन इफ एनी. एंड जो अभी मैंने बता दिया, इट प्रेसेस द पैनिक बटन फॉर इक्विपमेंट दैट आर इन नीड ऑफ इमीडिएट अटेंशन. So these are the offerings of a thermography. I'll move ahead for next VAS offering. Now we'll discuss about the electrical fire safety audit. Now this is a comprehensive audit which will make sure that the risk engineer from insurance company will check each and every small point, okay, for electrical hazards and any static electrical hazards, and they will review the fire detection and protection system for as far as your electrical systems are concerned. So आपके फैक्ट्री प्रीमाइसेस में जो भी मशीन आपने लगाई है, ठीक है, as far as इंडस्ट्रियल इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रैक्टिसेस कंसर्न, वो कितनी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस पे है, ठीक है, और वो मशीन्स जहाँ पे कोई अनबैलेंस लोड हो सकता है, ठीक है, या कोई ऐसी वायरिंग्स होगी जो बहुत पुरानी है, ठीक है, अभी वो जो मोटर है उसके हिसाब से जो वायरिंग होनी चाहिए उसका कुछ इंसुलेशन सही है या नहीं है, ठीक है, उसका एक कंप्लीट रिपोर्ट आपको देगी, ठीक है, प्लस दे विल सी दी यानी हजार्ड एरिया क्लासिफिकेशन, कि आपने अगर ये मोटर कंट्रोल पैनल के नियर बाय कुछ ऐसे मशीन्स रखी है, ठीक है, जो आपको नहीं रखनी चाहिए, ठीक है, या आपके ट्रांसफार्मर्स, आपके सब स्टेशंस, आपके एयर हैंडलिंग यूनिट्स या आपके एयर कंप्रेसर्स में कैसा काम चल रहा है, ठीक है, वहां पे कोई अनबैलेंस लोड तो नहीं है, ठीक है, विच इवेंचुअली क्रिएट अ एक्सप्लोजन और वो फायर इंसिडेंस हो सकता है। सो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी इलेक्ट्रिकल फायर सेफ्टी ऑडिट में ये सारी चीजों को बहुत डिटेल में रिव्यू करेगी with the help of your plant in charge, ठीक है, so please do connect with us for getting your thermography and electrical fire safety done for your factory premises. I'll move ahead for valuation services. Now valuation services are very important. First of all, it will help you by choosing the correct sum insured, okay, because under insurance होगा तो क्लेम के समय आप ही का पैसा कटेगा, सो अंडर इंश्योरेंस को हम अवॉइड करेंगे बाय डिडक्शन इन क्लेम। और दूसरा होगा कि ओवर इंश्योरेंस, हमने ओवर इंश्योरेंस भी नहीं करना है, ठीक है, ओवर इंश्योरेंस करेंगे तो इवेंचुअली यू विल एंड अप पेइंग मोर, तो ओवर इंश्योरेंस नहीं करना है तो प्रीमियम भी सेव हो जाएगा। और जो मेन हमने प्रॉब्लम देखा है कि रीइंस्टेटमेंट क्लॉज जो अपने पॉलिसी में होता है, इट्स अ डबल एज स्वॉर्ड, एंड व्हेन आई से डबल एज स्वॉर्ड, वो इसलिए है बिकॉज देयर आर मेनी फैक्टर which will eventually मेक श्योर कि आपके पॉलिसी में कुछ तो परसेंटेज में अंडर इंश्योरेंस होगा, बिकॉज ऐसा पॉसिबल हो सकता है कि हमने वैल्यूएशन सर्विसेज नहीं की, हमने सिर्फ ग्रॉस ब्लॉक्स में जो परचेस कॉस्ट पे हमने जो मशीनरी हमने अपने फैक्ट्री में इंस्टॉल की थी, मान लो हमने 10 साल पहले एक मशीनरी इंस्टॉल की थी, लेट्स से सपोज 1 करोड़ में हमने मशीन खरीदी थी, हमने वो मशीन 10 साल पहले 1 करोड़ में इंश्योर भी कर लिया है, अभी उसमें कुछ हमने इन्फ्लेशन फिर भी अकाउंट कर लिया है, चलो 10% और 20% हमने इन्फ्लेशन अकाउंट कर लिया है, सो आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि आपने बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस एडॉप्ट कर लिए, बट it may happen overnight because there are many volatility in international market, जैसे यूक्रेन वॉर हो गया या अभी जो रेड सी में जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स चल रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो ऐसे अगर ट्रेड डिस्प्यूट्स होते हैं और अगर आपका जो मशीनरी सप्लायर उस कंट्री में है ओवरनाइट अभी वो सप्लाई नहीं कर सकता, यू हैव टू ऑप्ट आउट फॉर न्यू ओईएम, और अगर वो मशीन के कॉस्ट से 50 या 60% अगर आपको शेल आउट करने पड़ रहे हैं, ठीक है, बिकॉज अंडर इंश्योरेंस कंसिडर किया जाता है एट द टाइम ऑफ डेट ऑफ लॉस, ठीक है, सो दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सिनेरियो दैट यू हैव टू एड्रेस, so I will just brief upon or touch upon the benefits of sum insured valuation. So policyholder will suffer the substantial financial losses on account under insurance. Under insurance become apparent only at the time of claim settlement, okay, so insurance can provide full settlement protection only when the sum insured is adequate at inception and it subsequently during the policy period and next year renewal. So please be in touch with us for getting your valuation done for your factory, because it will make sure that all your policies, all your FAR, okay, your balance sheets are in sync with your policy document, then only your claim gets settled at best practices, okay. I'll move ahead. There is a poll coming up, please answer this poll. I hope everybody has answered that poll because that is very important. Next topic is myths versus facts. तो ये जो स्लाइड हमने रखी है ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स को एड्रेस करती है, बिकॉज ऐसा बहुत बारी देखा गया है कि आउट ऑफ नेग्लिजेंस और आउट ऑफ मिस सेलिंग, ठीक है, as a policy holder you have taken the wrong policy or any coverages which is not fitted for your factory insurance. So these are some of the questions. Can we have separate policies for fixed asset and stock to take the benefit of Laghu Udyam rating? Now this is a major mis-selling point कि लघु उद्यम में बिकॉज फ्लेक्सा पॉलिसी फ्लेक्सा रेटिंग पे वहां पे हायर डिस्काउंट अवेलेबल है, ठीक है, यू माइट बी टेम्पटेड टू टेक दैट डिस्काउंट बिकॉज प्रीमियम इम्पैक्ट बहुत ह्यूज आ जाता है. व्हेन आई से ह्यूज, अगर सम इंश्योर्ड मोर देन 50 करोड़ है तो मोटा मोटी अप्रोक्सीमेटली 2 या 3 लाख या 4 लाख का भी डिफरेंस आ सकता है अगर आपने एसेट की और स्टॉक की पॉलिसी अलग अलग ले ली तो. ठीक है, मीन्स अगर आपने स्टॉक की पॉलिसी ले रखी है 20 करोड़ की और फिक्स एसेट अगर है आपके यहाँ पे बिल्डिंग एंड प्लांट एंड मशीनरी वो अगर है 40 करोड़ की, तो दो पॉलिसी आपने सेपरेट कर ली तो बिलो 50 करोड़ में आपने 2 लघु उद्यम पॉलिसी ले ली. ठीक है, सो मिथ ये बोलता है कि हाँ ले सकते हैं, बट फैक्ट इट इज नॉट परमिटेड एज पर द रेगुलेटर. IRDC ये प्रैक्टिस अलाउड नहीं है बिकॉज जो लघु उद्यम की जो रेटिंग्स जब ये इंट्रोड्यूस हुई थी अप्रैल 2023 में, उसके साथ में कुछ की फीचर डॉक्यूमेंट्स इंश्योरर ने सारे ब्रोकर्स को भेजे थे. उसमें ये बहुत क्लियरली लिखा है कि एट एनी सिंगल लोकेशन if the sum insured is more than 50 crore, it has to be rated under SFSP policy. Laghu Udyam policy should not be given. So if you have taken this, okay, if you have done this mistake, please do correct at the time of renewal because insurer can go ahead and cancel your policy. Claim मिलना तो बहुत दूर की बात है, insurer policy cancel करके आपको थोड़ा बहुत जो प्रीमियम का रिफंड बनता है वो दे देगा. Okay, so don't be in that situation. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन बहुत बारी हमें भी ये पूछा गया है, कैन वी हैव अ सेपरेट पॉलिसी फॉर फिक्स्ड एसेट एंड स्टॉक फ्रॉम 2 सेपरेट इंश्योरर. ये भी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का एक्सटेंडेड वर्जन है कि एकदम से हाई लेवल का मिस सेलिंग हो जाता है कि चलो हमने इंश्योरर ही चेंज कर दिया, फिक्स एसेट का हमने सपोज हमने ICICI लोम्बार्ड से ले रखी है पॉलिसी और स्टॉक की पॉलिसी हमने न्यू इंडिया से ले रखी है, तो हमने सम इंश्योर्ड स्प्लिट कर दिया. और दूसरा बेनिफिट हो गया कि मुझे पॉलिसी प्रीमियम का इंस्टॉलमेंट भी मिल गया कि मैंने जनवरी में एक पॉलिसी ले रखी है और जून में एक पॉलिसी ले रखी है. अगेन इट इज नॉट परमिटेड एज पर रेगुलेटर. द आंसर इज सेम जो मैंने क्वेश्चन 1 में आपको जो आंसर दिया था. ठीक है, इट विल बी कंसिडर एज मिस सेलिंग और पर्पसली अपना डिस्काउंट लेने के लिए किया है, ये कंसिडर करके इंश्योरर कैन स्टेप इन एंड कैंसिल योर पॉलिसी, तो क्लेम नहीं मिलेगी. बट स्ट्रांगली आई एम टेलिंग. नेक्स्ट question is, does raw material would cover the work in progress, FG, consumable and packaging stock? तो यहाँ पे एक इंश्योरर कभी कभी क्या होता है कि आपने वैल्यूज दे दी, ओके, ब्रोकर को, एजेंट को, और इंश्योरर ने पॉलिसी बना दी. ठीक है, और वहां पे इंश्योरर ने वो पूरा का पूरा सम इंश्योर्ड पॉलिसी का रॉ मटेरियल में डाल दिया. ठीक है, अभी आप एज्यूम करोगे कि आपने सम इंश्योर्ड तो पूरा दे दिया, लेट सपोज 40 करोड़ के आपकी स्टॉक की वैल्यूएशन है जिसमें WIP और फिनिश गुड्स एंड कंज्यूमेबल एंड पैकिंग मटेरियल आपने ओवरऑल 40 करोड़ की सम इंश्योर्ड दे दी. आप ये एज्यूम करके चल रहे हो कि एवरीथिंग इज कवर्ड, बट पॉलिसी में अगर ये लिख के आया है 40 करोड़ इन फ्रंट ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल, ठीक है, एक सर्वेयर्स होते हैं जो थर्ड पार्टी सर्वेयर होते हैं जिनका काम होता है कि न्यूट्रली पॉलिसी को देखना और क्लेम के समय क्लाइंट्स को और इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को एक न्यूट्रल व्यू देना. तो ये बहुत गलत प्रैक्टिसेस कंसिडर की जाती है. सो प्लीज डू चेक योर पॉलिसीज और मेक श्योर कीजिएगा कि अगर ये हुआ भी है तो पॉलिसी के डिस्क्रिप्शन में या क्लॉजेस में आपको मेक श्योर करना है कि स्टॉक का डिस्क्रिप्शन मेंशन होना चाहिए. दैट स्टॉक शुड बी कंसिडर एज योर रॉ मटेरियल स्टॉक, योर WIP, योर फिनिश गुड्स, कंज्यूमेबल एंड पैकिंग मटेरियल. ओके, इफ इट इज नॉट रिटर्न, क्लेम के समय बहुत ज्यादा इफ्स एंड बट्स हो सकते हैं. ठीक है, एंड सेम इज हैपनिंग फॉर बिल्डिंग एंड प्लांट एंड मशीनरी. एंड व्हाई आई हैव रिटन हियर बिल्डिंग एंड प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, अगर यह डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं है, ये हमने बहुत बारी देखा है कि कंपाउंड वॉल के अभी अगर कुछ क्लेम आए या लॉसेस आए, ठीक है, या किसी ने राइट्स करके कंपाउंड वॉल तोड़ दिया या कोई इम्पैक्ट डैमेज होके कोई एक थर्ड पर्सन का ट्रक है वो आपके कंपाउंड वॉल को ठोक के चले गया. ठीक है, और अगर आपके पॉलिसी के बिल्डिंग के डिस्क्रिप्शन में अगर कंपाउंड वॉल स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन नहीं है तो आपको उस कंपाउंड वॉल का क्लेम नहीं मिलेगा. ओके, सो वी आर प्रैक्टिसिंग दिस बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस that mention all the type of description into respective asset size. Okay, so please recheck your policies, and if any area of improvement is there, please do this. Okay, please pass an endorsement for the same. नेक्स्ट, ये भी एक स्टॉक का एक एक्सटेंडेड वर्जन का क्वेश्चन है कि जीएसटी कंपोनेंट स्टॉक में लेना चाहिए या नहीं, मुझे क्लेम में मिलेगा कि नहीं. सो आंसर मिथ ये है कि नहीं लेना चाहिए. ठीक है, बिकॉज जीएसटी तो जब हम सेल करेंगे तब हम कंसिडर करेंगे, बट इसका करेक्ट आंसर है कि आपको जीएसटी ऐड करना है, बिकॉज एट द टाइम ऑफ क्लेम ऑथोरिटीज विल ट्रीट that GST is a consumption and you have to pay the GST to the authorities, and if the GST value is not added into stock value, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी अगेन इसको अंडर इंश्योरेंस कंसिडर करेगी और उतने परसेंटेज से आपका क्लेम डिडक्ट होगा. ओके, सो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट कि आपका जीएसटी कंपोनेंट स्टॉक में एडेड हो. आई विल मूव अहेड. Please, if you have any questions, write it in the chat box. We'll take all the questions at the end of our webinar. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हमें ये बहुत बारी पूछा गया है कि थर्ड पार्टीज का जो स्टॉक आपके फैक्ट्री प्रीमाइसेस में आता है जॉब वर्क करने के लिए, ठीक है, वो ऑटोमेटिकली कवर हो जाएगा, बिकॉज ऐसा बहुत बारी देखा है कि हमने स्टॉक के सम इंश्योर्ड में वो वैल्यू दे दी है, अब इसको कंसिडर कर लो. ओके, सो मिथ ये है कि हाँ ये कवर हो गया, या बहुत बारी पॉलिसी होल्डर ये एज्यूम करके चलता कि सम इंश्योर्ड दे दिया कि हाँ ये कवर हो जाएगा, बट फैक्ट है ये ऐसे कवर नहीं होगा. इसके लिए क्लॉज लेना होता है गुड्स हेल्ड इन ट्रस्ट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है. एंड व्हेन आई मेंशन द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट, बिकॉज दैट स्टॉक एक थर्ड पार्टी का है. ठीक है, आपको उस थर्ड पार्टी ने जॉब वर्क करने के लिए दिया है. ठीक है, तो अनलेस एंड अनटिल आप उसको गुड्स हेल्ड इन ट्रस्ट, ये जो क्लॉज है ये आपके पॉलिसी में नहीं होगा. और सिर्फ क्लॉज होने से नहीं होगा, गुड्स हेल्ड इन ट्रस्ट के क्लॉज के सामने उसकी सम इंश्योर्ड वैल्यू होनी चाहिए कि 5 करोड़ का स्टॉक गुड्स हेल्ड इन ट्रस्ट में होगा. सो मेक श्योर करना कि आप थोड़ा सा मार्जिन रख के हमें गुड्स हेल्ड इन ट्रस्ट जो भी थर्ड पार्टीज का जो स्टॉक होगा उसका वैल्यू हमें दे दीजिएगा. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, ये भी एक एजम्पशन है. अच्छा, ये नेगेटिव एजम्पशन है कि जो भी स्टॉक बाहर जा रहा है जॉब वर्क करने के लिए, आपका स्टॉक आप अगर किसी को दे रहे हो जॉब वर्क के लिए, वो कवर नहीं होगा अनलेस एंड अनटिल आपको उसकी स्पेसिफिकली सेपरेट पॉलिसी लेनी होगी, या आपको पॉलिसी में एंडोर्स करके उसका प्रीमियम पे करना है. ठीक है, तो ये एक मिथ है, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर आपका स्मॉलर आउटगो है, ठीक है, ये ट्रिक तभी काम आएगी जब आपका स्मॉलर आउटगो है, और स्मॉलर आउटगो के लिए एक एड ऑन कवर अवेलेबल है, टेम्पररी रिमूवल ऑफ स्टॉक. ठीक है, सो प्लीज डू चेक. एज ए प्रैक्टिस हम ये एड ऑन कवर हमारे सारे क्लाइंट्स को देते ही है एज पर एज दी SFSP एंड IR कंसर्न. और ये एड ऑन कवर स्मॉलर आउटगो मतलब अगर मैंने 5 करोड़ तक का लिमिट आपको दे दिया है और अगर आपका आउटगो उतना ही है, देयर इज नो नीड टू बाय अ सेपरेट पॉलिसी. ओके, बिकॉज यहाँ पे आपको ये फ्री में एड ऑन कवर मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, सो प्लीज रीचेक एंड रिव्यू योर पॉलिसी, एंड एट द टाइम ऑफ रिन्यूअल प्लीज मेक श्योर कि ये वाला एड ऑन कवर दे दिया है, टेम्पररी रिमूवल ऑफ स्टॉक फॉर द जॉब वर्क लोकेशंस. Next is machinery goes out of risk location for repair and cleaning is not covered. ये तो बहुत मिसकॉन्सेप्ट है कि बिकॉज अपनी फायर पॉलिसी वैसे भी रिस्क लोकेशन स्पेसिफिक होती है, और जो भी एसेट अपने रिस्क लोकेशन के बाहर चले गए तो वो कवर्ड नहीं होंगे, ये हमें एजम्पशन हम लेके चलते हैं. ठीक है, सो मिथ ये होता है कि यस पॉलिसी होल्डर इज अनइंश्योर्ड, बट द आंसर इज इट इज कवर्ड अप टू 60 डेज. लिमिटेड पीरियड का ऑप्शन है, बट ऑप्शन है, और ये इनबिल्ट फीचर है, ये आपको मांगना नहीं पड़ेगा. ठीक है, इन केस आप भूल भी गए तो भी ये बाय डिफॉल्ट कवर है ही. ठीक है, बट उसके लिए एक सब्जेक्टिविटी है. द मशीनरी, सबसे पहले तो ये मशीनरी के लिए, मशीनरी गोज आउट फॉर रिस्क लोकेशन फॉर रिपेयर एंड क्लीनिंग पर्पस ओनली देन इट इज covered for 60 days. Okay, it's a inbuilt cover. Nobody is trying to highlight, but yes, it is inbuilt cover for limited period of 60 days. Next question is sum insured taken on depreciated value or as per the FAR value is okay. अच्छा, इसका आंसर मैंने आपको वैल्यूएशन वाले सर्विसेज में ही दे दिया था. सो आपने डेप्रिशिएटेड वैल्यू लिया है तो बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. डोंट डू दिस. दूसरा प्रैक्टिस आपने, चलो FAR में जो आपने ग्रॉस वैल्यू ली थी, जो आपने फर्स्ट टाइम परचेज किया था, वो ग्रॉस वैल्यू पे ले लिया है, तो भी ये बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस नहीं है। बिकॉज आपको लगता है कि आपने जहां तक आपने पॉलिसी में वैल्यू ले रखी है, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी एटलीस्ट मुझे वहां तक तो क्लेम देगी। लेट सपोज अगर आपने 55 करोड़ का टोटल सम इंश्योर्ड लिया है, ठीक है, फॉर स्टॉक, फॉर एसेट, फॉर योर प्लांट एंड मशीनरी एंड फॉर योर बिल्डिंग, तो आपको लगेगा कि मुझे 55 करोड़ तक का तो क्लेम मिल ही जाएगा। बट द फैक्ट इज, अगर आपने ये डेप्रिशिएटेड लिया है, ठीक है, या आपने FAR में जब आपने फर्स्ट टाइम 10 साल पहले जो मशीन खरीदी थी वो वैल्यू ली है, बहुत हेवी अंडर इंश्योरेंस लग जाएगा। बिकॉज रीइंस्टेटमेंट पॉलिसी क्लॉज ये बोलता है, द सम इंश्योर्ड शुड रिप्रेजेंट द रिप्लेसमेंट कॉस्ट फॉर मशीन, and for building it should represent the current day reconstruction cost. Okay, so यहाँ पे valuation services will come handy, so please talk to our team to get your valuation done. I'll move ahead. नेक्स्ट इज, अच्छा ये एक बहुत बड़ा मिस सेलिंग पॉइंट है। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जो है कि हमने पॉलिसी में एक एड ऑन कवर ले लिया है, वेवर ऑफ अंडर इंश्योरेंस 15%, तो अभी काम करेंगे कि अभी हम सम इंश्योर्ड घटा देंगे, ठीक है। ये बहुत बड़ा मिथ है कि थोड़ा बहुत प्रीमियम बच जाएगा, बट द फैक्ट इज दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट प्रैक्टिसेस। बिकॉज अंडर इंश्योरेंस को आप थोड़ा, ये जो वेवर ऑफ अंडर इंश्योरेंस का एड ऑन है, इसको आप थोड़ा क्वेश्चन लेके चलिएगा। बिकॉज जो मैंने आपको वैल्यूएशन सर्विसेज में एक पॉइंट या एक थॉट आपको दिया था कि देर आर एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेस विच एक्ट फॉर इन्फ्लेशन ऑफ योर प्लांट एंड मशीनरी स्पेसिफिकली, ठीक है, या ऐसे रॉ मटेरियल आप प्रोक्योर कर रहे हो, खास करके कॉपर या ऐसे रॉ मटेरियल जो उस कंट्री से ही आपको आएंगे, और अगर उस कंट्रीज अगर वॉर लाइक सिनेरियोज में फंस गई है, या कोई ट्रेड डिस्प्यूट अभी आ चुके हैं, या अभी आप क्या और उस OEM का कुछ आउटस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से कुछ डिस्प्यूट हो गया, अभी आपको नया OEM के पास अगर आपको जाना है, और अगर आपकी प्रोक्योरमेंट कॉस्ट एकदम से बढ़ जाती है 50% से, सो ये जो आपने कर रखा है 15% अंडर इंश्योरेंस मिला है एड ऑन कवर में, तो सम इंश्योर्ड घटा दिया है, तो क्लेम अगेन कट होगा। सो प्लीज यूज दिस एड ऑन कवर एज अ कुशन ओनली। ओके, नाउ द लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, पॉलिसी इशूड विथ इनकरेक्ट रेटिंग इज ओके। ये बहुत बड़ा मिथ है, बिकॉज ये ऐसा एज्यूम कर लिया जाता है कि हम ट्राई करेंगे सेफ खेलने का। बिना से सेफ करने का मैं आपको एक छोटा एग्जांपल दूंगा। प्लास्टिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनीज के लिए दो रेटिंग आती है, ठीक है। एक रेटिंग होती है ऑल दोज रॉ मटेरियल विच हैविंग कैलोरीफिक वैल्यू अबव 15,000 BTU, और दूसरी रेटिंग आती है अप टू 15,000 BTU, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे रेटिंग का फर्क आ जाता है। रेटिंग एक जगह पे हायर है 1.63 और एक जगह पे लोअर है 1.28। तो ऐसा हमने या एज ए प्रैक्टिस कोई भी प्लास्टिक मैन्युफैक्चर कंपनी के पास एक रॉ मटेरियल या एक सेट ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल नहीं होंगे जो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के रेटिंग के परव्यू में आ जाते हैं। ऐसा बहुत बार ही देखा गया कि वहां पे 3 या 4 या 10 रॉ मटेरियल्स आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग और फिर एक फिनिश प्रोडक्ट बन जाता है, ठीक है। तो सेफर साइड ये कंसिडर किया जाता है कि हम हायर वाली रेटिंग ले लेंगे, ठीक है, तो अपना काम हो गया, पॉलिसी हो गई। बट जब आप करते हो तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी स्मार्टली जो लोअर रेटिंग वाले रॉ मटेरियल है उसका ऐसा एक्सक्लूजन डाल देती है। सो प्लीज चेक योर पॉलिसी वेरी इन डिटेल। ये वारंटी में पढ़ लेता हूँ। वारंटेड दैट द इंश्योर्ड डज नॉट यूज द मेंशन्ड बिलो रॉ मटेरियल इन प्रोडक्शन, polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene and ABS and PB। तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ने वारंटी डाल दी कि आप पॉलीप्रोपिलीन या पॉलीस्टायरीन, ठीक है, ये या ABS नहीं यूज करोगे। ये इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ने एज्यूम कर लिया है, हायर वाली रेटिंग दी है, वहां पे ये रॉ मटेरियल उनके टेबल में नहीं लिखे हैं, ठीक है। तो ये बहुत फनी चीज है, बट एट द टाइम ऑफ क्लेम इंश्योरेंस कंपनी कैन कट कॉर्नर्स कि हमने ये वारंटी डाल दी है, अगर आपके फैक्ट्री प्रीमाइसेस में ये रॉ मटेरियल लिखे है, सो देयर इज अ मिस रिप्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम क्लाइंट साइड, ठीक है। क्लेम में बहुत दिक्कतें आएगी, इंश्योरेंस कंपनी क्लेम के समय हाथ जोड़ेगी, बोलेगी हम क्लेम नहीं देंगे। सो प्लीज डोंट don't try to do this practice or try to avoid these pitfalls. Okay. Now, this is the end of session from our side. Now we will highlight about the our claim forte. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ हमारे क्लाइंट्स है जिनका हमने पिछले 3 साल में लार्ज क्लेम्स भी हमने सेटल किए, छोटे क्लेम्स भी सेटल किए. देयर आर लीडिंग सिनेमा फिल्म प्रोडक्शन हाउस जहाँ पे उनके सेट में फायर हुई थी, तो 1.5 करोड़ का क्लेम हमने सेटल किया था. एक सबसे बड़ा अभी तक का हमने जो क्लेम हैंडल किया है वो एक लीडिंग वुवन सैक्स बैग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है. ठीक है, उनका फैक्ट्री टोटल लॉस हुई थी, जहाँ पे इंश्योरेंस कंपनी ने के साथ में हमने जो क्लेम सेटल कर दिया था वो एक 15 करोड़ के क्वांटम का क्लेम था. और एक लीडिंग लुब्रिकेंट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है जिनके फ्लड लॉसेस हुए थे, ठीक है, इन द ईयर ऑफ 2021, तो वहाँ पे हमने 22.5 लाख का क्लेम दिया था. सो ये लिस्ट ऐसे ऑनगोइंग है जहाँ पे हमने खास करके बड़े क्लेम्स दिए. ठीक है, तो ओवरऑल हमारा ये फोर्टे है कि हम पॉलिसी भी आपको करेक्ट सेल करेंगे. हम ट्राई करेंगे वैल्यूएशन करा के कोई अंडर इंश्योरेंस ना हो. हम ट्राई करेंगे आपको एजुकेट करने का कि विच आर द थिंग्स यू शुड अवॉइड. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लिस्ट, क्लेम इज अवर फोर्टे, बिकॉज क्लेम इज अ मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रुथ. अगर क्लेम नहीं मिला तो ये पूरा शो रन करने का कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. So our claim team is headed by Mr. Lakshminarayan Shanbhag, who comes with 20 years of experience and ably managed by our internal claim team. Okay, we have Mahesh Koketkar in our panel, okay, who is in day to day talking with you, okay, under the supervision of Mr. Lakshminarayan Shanbhag. So what I'm trying to say that we are able to run your show not only by giving the correct practices, but we are confident that we'll able to pay the claims from insurance company के साथ. जो भी हमारी इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के साथ जो उनके नेशनल लेवल तक के भी जो क्लेम सेट है वहाँ तक भी हमारी लाइजनिंग है. वी नो all the stakeholders of insurance company. So at the time of claim we'll make sure that because एक सवाल पूछा जाता है क्लाइंट की साइड से कि हमें क्लेम मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. सो इसका आंसर है क्लेम तो मिलेगा, बट कितने अमाउंट का, कितने क्वांटम का मिलेगा, वहां पे हमारी एक्सपर्टीज आ जाएगी. विल मेक श्योर कि हर एक क्लेम का डिस्क्लोजर चाहे वो हमारी क्लेम्स टीम उसको वेट करेगी. ठीक है, कोई भी एक्स्ट्रा की चीज हम नहीं लिखेंगे. ठीक है, इससे क्या होगा, हम बहुत टू द पॉइंट बात करेंगे इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के साथ में और सर्वेयर्स के साथ में. सो क्लेम के समय कोई अनवांटेड सरप्राइजेस हमें नहीं मिलेंगे. ठीक है, so that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I'll hand over Pratik sir to give a vote of thanks. Over to you, Pratik sir.
Yeah, thank you, Prasad and Pramod sir, for highlighting this session. I hope this session would help you to understand the policy much better way and also have educated in terms of how to manage the plant. Maybe in the future, as of now, I don't see any questions coming in, but maybe in the future when we see if there's any doubts or queries, please connect to us over the phone or email, or if required, you can let us know. If meeting is required, we'll be more than happy to come down to your office and answer your queries. With this, on behalf of Insurance Manager, once again, thank you and for your attendance on this weekend, and hope you have a happy weekend time. Thank you very much once again.